it's a mentality that all black people are smelly, all black people are dirty, all black people are poor, all black people, there's something wrong with them. From what you can probably see, I have no makeup on today. I'm raw, and yes, the video is also raw. Makadi, welcome back to my channel, you guys. It's me again, and it's time for another video. So today we're gonna be talking about things that white people say to black people that black people can never say back. Guys, I'm gonna start off by saying that I'm not saying all white people are bad. I'm not painting all white people black. I'm not saying all white people are racist. But I am saying that it is a norm, it is a social injustice that white people can get away with saying certain insulting and degrading things about black people and nobody does anything. I don't know, I feel like from my own experiences, it's not right. I actually teach at a small kindergarten. There's this kid, she's a girl, she came to me and she said, "Ti plocha pachnosh." And I was like, and if you don't know Russian, that actually means that you're smelly. And guys, mind you, I had actually woken up in the morning, taken a bath, showered, put on deodorant, and a kid just comes and says that you are smelly. Not that I was smelly, but what I actually got from that comment is that, it's a mentality that all black people are smelly, all black people are dirty, all black people are poor, there's something wrong with them. It's like, I feel like those are sort of like mentalities that arise from parents actually, talking something about black people that is bad. Because there's no way a 4-year-old would say that thing about their teacher. I feel like even a black 4-year-old can never go to their teacher, be it a kindergarten teacher, a primary school teacher, and tell them that, you're smelling just because you're white. I feel like that's one thing that black people would never do. So I feel like a lot of white people get away with it. It's looked as though it's a norm, and this is not a thing that she does at random. She does it almost every time that I go. Like, she'll make gestures like like you're smelly, or make these funny gestures as though like I'm the smelliest amongst everybody. I feel like the fact that nobody does anything, no one corrects her, and I cannot correct her because I'm the subject of ridicule. But the fact that no one amongst the people I work with can actually chastise her, tell her this is wrong, is what I find to be most upsetting. There's also been an incident, I remember, where I told you that a kid actually called me a monkey. And as much as I was offended by the sentiment, I was most offended by the fact that nobody does anything. Like, people laugh about it, grown-up people, and they know that you're being degraded, you're being insulted, and it's wrong, and nobody's supposed to treat you that way, but nobody does anything. And I know you might say these are kids, but what I'm saying is, even if they are kids, they should be told that it is wrong. They should be punished for saying things like that about black people. It should be somebody a person in authority that actually tells them that you can't treat black people that way. But like, a lot of white people just say whatever they want to say about black people, guys. Even when I was in preparatory school, there was this story about Africa. Like, it was actually part of an exam paper I wrote, and I'm gonna tell you what the story was saying. So the story was saying that Africa is the biggest producer of milk and meat because they have the largest population of cattle. But Africa is also the biggest exporter of those products. So what they wanted to try and portray is that even though Africa has all these resources, but they still export so much, meaning that they are failing to, to capitalize on their resources. And as much as it might be a truth, guys, but why is that story being the only story that's being spoken about Africa? There was no other story to mask the effects of that story. Like, in my class, I learned with Arabic people, there were Slavic people, there were people from all over. And that's the only picture they get about Africa, that, okay, Africa is this poor nation that has a lot of resources and people can't manage those resources. I don't know. Like, I really got offended because I also remember reading about Europe, reading about Germany, reading about USA, and we didn't take their weaknesses and magnify them and publish only, what made sense for us. Like, that was not it. Like, the things that you'll find in history about Europe, about, Germany, about all these other countries are good things, but the things that they publish about us in their textbooks, in their papers, are bad things about Africa. And I find that to be appalling, and nobody does anything and nobody says anything. So it's things like that that make me feel like white people have a certain leeway to treat black people a certain type of way. We also have a lot of white people. I think we have a lot of Boer people in Zimbabwe, a lot of British Zimbabweans, and you know, we treat them with respect, and there's no way that we actually make them feel like they don't belong, or they're the odd one out, or they're the part that is not fitting in the puzzle. We treat white people in a certain way, they treat us in a different way. I remember yesterday I was actually in a shop. I wanted to buy a cake, and there were a lot of cakes to choose from, so I took my time. You know, I was looking at the price points as well, because I was not going to buy, you know, such an expensive cake. Then these girls came and made fun of me that, like, you know, I don't have enough money. They made comment that it's because she doesn't have enough money, that's why she's lingering on the cake stand. And I heard it, and I asked myself, like, I used to have white customers who used to buy molasses from me. You know, they were living in Borodale, and Borodale, if you know Zimbabwe, it's like the place where all the sharks live. It's like the place where everybody who's a somebody lives there. And these customers from Borodale would spend 3 hours interrogating me about feed. Like, if they want to buy, they would ask me, like, where is the feed from? Like, why is your price point the most expensive when we compare to other companies? Like, I even remember a man who spent a whole hour, you know, asking me about molasses before he bought just one bottle, like a 25-liter bottle. But he spent a whole hour interrogating me about that bottle. And I never for once went to him and said it's because you don't have money, or I never said to him, you know, there are customers who buy 13 bags in 13 minutes and you are busy interrogating me about one $21 bottle. You know, I never said that to him. I treated him with respect because he's just a customer. But you find out that for you, like, there's nobody to give you that respect back in turn. And again, like, guys, I'm not ranting, but I'm just stating facts. Like, it's unfair, guys. Like, because I even have noticed that, like, there's this time I was chasing, like, we were playing a game with my kindergarten kids, and we were racing around. And they hit me, guys. Like, the way they hit me, it was with intention. Like, they had been waiting for the right moment to hit me. They hit me, and I was really, you know, disturbed. And I told them, like, I no longer want to play the game, because it's like, you guys, you had already planned that you were gonna hit me. They hit me on places that, like, you would never expect a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old to hit you, but they hit me. I actually saw that some of my other colleagues, they saw that I was being hit, and, you know, this is not the way I'm supposed to be treated, but they kept silent. They laughed about it. They moved on. And that's when I saw that these kids actually know that nobody's gonna say anything if we do this to you. Nobody's gonna say anything if they say whatever they want to say to you. And I feel like it's unfair. I've noticed that some kids, you know, like, when they start seeing black people, they'll cry. I understand that, like, when kids cry and you're also handling other kids, like, you don't want them to cry for so long. Like, you also want to make sure that, you know, the group is silent. Like, but I noticed that whenever these kids started to cry, like, the other caretakers would tell me, like, go to the other groups, or please go away. And I asked myself, guys, I boarded a bus, I paid money to come to work, and people are telling me to go away. And as a result, because they never did anything, like, if I just come for work, like, these kids cry. Like, it was now a routine until yesterday. I said, no, I'm gonna be here. If they cry, they cry. I don't care. It's your job to make the kids, you know, to feel comfortable hanging around with black people. And I don't know, I feel like for me, in a lot of instances, I've seen that they never really do anything to make the situation better. No, this is a good person. She's just a person like you. She's a, you know, she's kind. They never say that. They just look and smile, and, you know, it's another day for them. So I don't know, guys. Like, these are just things I just see. Maybe it's me who looks at every tiny thing with a magnifying glass. Remember, we were even in this restaurant, like, with a friend. And, you know, we were just eating and eating and eating. Then they decided to go and buy, like, I think it was a shawarma. Like, we already bought the food at the restaurant. Then you go and buy something else and you want to eat it on the same table. So I do understand that it is against, like, restaurant protocol for somebody to go and buy their food elsewhere and come and eat on the restaurant's premises. But it was the way this lady related to, you know, to us after that incident. She's like, yeah, you're not even supposed to do that. Who do you think you are? Like, she shouted, and, you know, like, Everybody in the restaurant like just looked at us like, okay, what is up with these black people? What actually could have been, I don't know, it could have been such a small incident, like you just say, ah, no guys, you're not supposed to do that, and the story ends. But it became such a huge issue. And the problem, you know, to the person who actually went and bought was that you are shouting at me, like you're not supposed to shout at me. 'Cause the way she was relating to the other customer, you know, she was speaking, you know, humble in such a kind and, you know, calm way. But when it came to this guy, like she really went off like, you're not supposed to do that and I have the authority here. So sometimes I really feel like there's just it's unfair scales, like that respect that you're giving them back, it's never given back to you. I don't know, like I've also tried on a number of occasions to actually speak to my, you know, my white colleagues or my white friends or people that I've met, you know, who are also white about this issue, and they get very defensive, like it's any racism. No. But the truth, guys, is that these unfair scales are there, and you can't see something that is not affecting you. Like I am talking about it because I've been through it. Like you know, I even remember there's this time I had this lecturer and she started talking about African swine fever. So, you know, just from the name African swine fever, it means that it emanated from Africa. And there's now an incidence of African swine fever in Russia. So she was just talking in general. Because of these imports of meat, we now have like strange diseases that were that are not native to our country, and they are coming back. You know, then she looked at me and she's like, African swine fever. I felt some type of way, like I'm the only black person in the class. I just felt like it was me who brought the African swine fever. But what I'm trying to paint is that like they're just unfair skills, guys. I feel like they treat black people in a certain way, and we in turn can never say the things that they tell us sometimes. Like we can never treat them the way they treat us. If you go back home, you know, the service that we provide for British Zimbabweans is the same service we provide for, you know, black Zimbabweans. The respect that I give to, you know, black Zimbabweans is still the same respect I give to British Zimbabweans. Not right at all. And when it comes to children, I really feel like, you know, somebody has to say something. They have to be corrected. They have to be punished for, you know, saying those things about an African person or about a black person, but they are never punished, and nobody ever does anything because they don't see it as important. So yes, guys, that was my overview on things that white people say to black people that black people never say back. So let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you've also had certain comments passed your way because you're black. If you've also had certain actions being done, you know, to you because you're black. If you, wherever you are, if, you know, people really make you feel like you're the only black person in the room, or you're the only black person where you are, I don't know, maybe it's my own story, or for me, I really feel, you know, that I'm the foreigner, and there's never really a day that goes by without me feeling like I'm a foreigner. I don't want to lie to you. Like, yeah, every time I like, even if I try and forget, like, I'll always be reminded that you are a foreigner. So I hope you liked that. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's chat in the comment section. Like, do you feel like white people treat us the same as we treat them? Do you feel like they give us the same respect? Like I said, guys, it's not everybody, but there is a considerable population of people who actually act this way. So guys, please show me the love. Give this video a huge thumbs up. Other covers you'd like me to do, and yeah, like I also want to know like the kind of videos that you guys want me to create, and I do hope you have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much.